You graduated and have a stable job for the past 12 months. Are you ready to take the next big step in your life? No, I don't mean getting married. Should you buy a car or a house first? Should you get a car so that you can use it to go to work or for leisure purposes without needing to take public transport? Or should you get on to the property ladder, buy something that can appreciate in value for long term? Or is there a way to afford both? There are two angles that you can consider in answering these questions. First, what can you afford? And second, what is your lifestyle and needs? So let's start with what you can afford. Say your gross salary is 3,500 per month. So after deducting EPF, SOCSO, your net salary is around 3,000 per month. Your monthly food and living expenses are 1,500 and you target to save 300 ringgit per month. So that means you can afford to use 1,200 a month to either pay for a car or a house. In finance terms, your debt service ratio, i.e. your debt commitment divided by your net income, is 40%, which is the 1,200 divided by 3,000. So the 40% is within the typical 60% threshold used by most banks, and assuming you are using this to pay for the house. So the current mortgage rate right now is around 3%, and with 35 years mortgage, you can get a financing of about 320,000 ringgit Malaysia. And how do I calculate this? You can search for home loan calculator on internet, and in this case, I use this calculator. With 90% margin of financing, this means you can buy a property worth around 350,000 ringgit Malaysia. And there are a reasonable amount of options even in KL area. Not bad, considering this is your first property. By having a housing loan in your secrets, banks generally will view this favorably, and you stand a better chance to have your other consumer loan, whether it's a car loan, personal loan, being approved. And why? Because the bank will see you have an asset under your name. On the other hand, if you are considering buying a car first, say a Honda City that costs around 75,000 ringgit Malaysia, so similarly assume a margin of finance 90%, interest rate of around 3%, and a tenure of 9 years, although not advisable for a 9-year tenure, given that it's actually quite long for a car. So this will translate into a monthly installment of around 790 ringgit per month. This will leave you with around 400 ringgit available to buy a property. Using the same calculation, this will allow you to buy for property for around 100 and 110,000. So hardly any choice. But I understand the nature of your work may require you to have a car. Maybe your workplace has no public transport access, or you are in a sales line where you have to frequently visit your customer, and you're still able to do so by buying property first. So the question is how? You can rent out part of your property, say a room, to your friend that will generate some extra income to you. With a proper rental agreement in place, bank will count it as an additional income, which will help to reduce your debt service ratio. So using our example back, your income is no longer just the net salary of 3,000 per month, but also include your monthly rental income. As car will always depreciate in value, you should consider getting something that allows you to get from point A to point B safely, but with the lowest monthly commitment. So instead of spending 700-800 a month on car loan, so get a cheaper car, and if you browse through car listing, there are many cars available for 300 to 400 ringgit a month. This will help you to address your needs, and in the meantime, allow you to save and upgrade your property later on when you earn more. Generally, a house is seen as a worthwhile investment compared to a car, which is often seen as a liability. The value of the house may stagnate or decrease in the short term, but in the longer term, especially 5 to 10 years down the road, the value will generally increase. But of course, make sure the property is at the right location. The value of a car, on the other hand, continues to depreciate with time. So for a long run and from a personal finance perspective, buying a house makes sense. But I understand, due to the needs I discussed earlier, you need a car for your work and to earn income. In this case, you can buy a car first, but just make sure you use it as little as possible of your commitment eligibility for your car, so that you have enough eligibility later on to buy a property that suits you. If you want to hear the other side of the argument of buying a car first due to needs and lifestyle, I recommend watching a video with the link in the description. So in a nutshell, whether to buy a car or a house first, I think it's very much depending on your financial capability, your needs, and also your lifestyle. So I hope this is useful. For more personal finance tips, subscribe to Data Learning YouTube channel.